Hello, God be with you. It's a pleasure to share God's message with you one more time. The message today is Go Out to Sow. One of the most famous parables told by Jesus is the parable of the sower. Our text is Matthew chapter 13, verses 1 to 9 and 18 to 23. And I invite you to read Matthew 13, verses 1 to 23, just after listening to my meditation. If you do that, you will see that we have two audiences. One in verses 1 to 9, the crowd who's listened to the parable of the sower. Other in verses 10 to 23, the disciples, who listened to the explanation of the parable. Well, as you'll be reading, I have a task to you. You must underline every time you find the verb to hear or to listen, knowing that in Greek, the New Testament language, both translate the same word. You will note that we have two imperatives. Verse 9, listen. Verse 18, hear. As I said, the same word, but for different audiences. The first one for the crowd, the second one for the disciples. If you are listening to me, I assume that you are a disciple. Therefore, we need to ask, why does Jesus call us to hear the explanation of the parable? The reason is simple. Gospel of Matthew is a textbook for formation of new disciples. It has 5 discourses that I will call classes. Chapters 5 to 7, chapter 10, chapter 13, chapter 18, and chapters 23 to 25. In the remaining chapters, we have the record of Jesus' actions and words culminating in his death for our sins and his victorious resurrection. The parable of the sower and his explanation open the third class. In the first class, chapters 5 to 7, Jesus called for the discipleship. In the second class, he sent his disciples to announce the gospel of the kingdom. After that experience, they returned. Now, in the third class, he will encourage them to continue announcing. Surely, they experienced different reactions to the message, as we did. Sometimes, bad reactions make us discouraged for the task. Jesus calls us, hear then the parable of the sower. Yes, there are different soils, so different reactions. But be like the sower and go out to sow, because as you sow, you will find a good soil. You are not the problem. Neither the seed is. If you go out to sow the word of the kingdom, the gospel of Jesus, the seed will fall on different soils, even on the good soil. Therefore, go out to sow. But you will say to me, hey Ka, it's my nickname. Hey Ka, I can't go out. Don't you know that we are in quarantine? And I will answer you, yes, I do. But I'm preaching to you, am I not? You and I can go out through our electronic devices. We are doing this all the time. Let's use them to show the gospel. Call a friend who needs an encouragement and read Psalm 46, verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Send a WhatsApp just with these words, John 3:16. And when your friend asks, "What's that?" you answer telling him or her the gospel. Use your creativity and go out to sow. You will find different soils who will differently hear and react to the message. And surely you will find a good soil who will hear and understand and who indeed will bear fruit and yield perhaps 100-fold or 60 or 30, but it will. Then, there we go. Let's read Matthew 13, 1 to 23. And go out to sow, for this is the lesson of Jesus for you and me today. God bless you.